Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. This is Living in Columbus, Ohio. And today I've got an awesome episode for you guys as we're gonna be talking about what it's like to live in Hilliard, Ohio. So sit back, relax, grab a cold one. You're not gonna wanna miss this episode. What's up everybody, my name is Brad Winter, and if this is your first time to the channel, make sure you tap on that subscribe button below and you click on the bell so you get notified every single time I do a new video. One of these videos comes out every single week and we talk about what it's like to work, eat, live, breathe, play, everything there is about the Columbus metro and surrounding areas. I am also a licensed real estate agent in the state of Ohio, and as much as I love doing these videos for you guys, I would love nothing more to help with your real estate needs. So if you are thinking about moving or relocating to the Columbus area, make sure you call me or text me at that number below, because I'm gonna be the guy that answers those phone calls, responds to those text messages, replies to those emails, but most importantly, I'm gonna have your back when moving to our incredible city. All right, here we go. We're gonna talk about what it's like to live in Hilliard, Ohio. All right, let's talk about location. So when you're moving or you're relocating to a city, you wanna know where the heck are things at. So if you see on the map right now, Hilliard, Ohio is just about 12 miles northwest of downtown Columbus. So it's not too far away. And it's really easy to get to. If you are downtown, you're just gonna take 70 west and you have the opportunity to take that to Hilliard Rome Road. And on Hilliard Rome Road, there's gonna be all your big superstores, your Dick's Sporting Goods, your Costco's, your Walmarts, all those type of commercial shopping areas. It's also gonna be where a lot of the car dealerships are at, a lot of the fast food places. So that's one way you can get there. Or if you take 70 west, you could hop on 270 north then, as you can see on the map, and there are 4 or 5 different exits that you can take to get to Hilliard. So again, guys, when we're talking about location and proximity to downtown Columbus, it is extremely easy to get to. Another cool thing on the map that you'll see is that Hilliard is surrounded by other suburbs. So to the south of it, you have Galloway. To the east of it, you have Upper Arlington. And to the north of it, you have Dublin, Ohio. So again, it's surrounded by great places to live. You guys have probably seen those in some of my other videos. So as you are thinking about moving or relocating here and you want to be in close proximity to the downtown area, definitely look at Hilliard. 12 miles away is nothing. One of the biggest questions that I always get is, Brad, how dense is the population in these areas? So, let's talk about that. Hilliard has right around 37,000 people living in the Hilliard area, and it's constantly growing. This is probably one of the fastest growing suburbs, in all of Columbus. There's definitely a lot of people there, and it's only gonna become more than more. And the really cool thing that I think about is that Hilliard is so vast in land that much of Hilliard still hasn't even been developed. So there's tons of room for growth. You're gonna see new home builders building homes all throughout Hilliard, and there's gonna be new shopping areas and all these other things that are being developed. So, one of the things that maybe is important to you is population that consists in these areas. So again, Hilliard, definitely a growing place, definitely got a lot of people. But if it's something that you're into, it might be a good place for you. All right, as we continue to talk about what it's like to, live in the Hilliard area, one thing that we need to talk about, and it's not positive, is the traffic. And this is my opinion, and my opinion only, but I think Hilliard has some of the worst traffic of all the suburbs. We talked about Hilliard Rome Road before. It has, all your major, grocery stores and fast food places and restaurants in the Hilliard area, and that place during the morning rush hour, evening, and weekends can be an absolute nightmare. So, I always want to be honest when we talk about these places. Hilliard's a great area, don't get me wrong. But if you're somebody that hates traffic, if you hate sitting in traffic, if you hate the thought of, all the congestion, this is something definitely to pay attention to, and you're going to want to try to experience before actually settling down here. So it is a con, when talking about the Hilliard area, but hey, that's just the way it is. I said earlier that one of the biggest questions that I always get is about location and population. But another thing I always get hit up about is, hey, what are the schools like? And one thing that is really cool about Hilliard is it has great schools. It's got 3 high schools located throughout the Hilliard area, which, that is huge. I mean, these high schools are some of the biggest, in Central Ohio. And my guess is as Hilliard begins to expand and keeps getting more developed and more people are moving here, there's going to be more high schools in the future. So these high schools, they're all rated, in the top, kind of upper echelon of the public schools in Central Ohio. A lot of people, when they're thinking about, where they want to raise their kids at, they want their kids to have a good education. This is definitely an area that people try to get into. Not only have great education, but if your kids are into sports, all these schools have really great sports programs as well. So that's another kind of big draw to the Hilliard area. So again, when you're thinking about moving here and if schools is one of the top priorities, this is definitely a place you want to check out. All right, so we talked about kind of the main things that you need to know about Hilliard, but if you're going to live here, what are you going to do? So the cool thing about Hilliard is it's got over 20 different parks that you can go explore. Some of these parks are hiking areas such as the Hayden Falls Park, which if you haven't been to, if you haven't heard of it, I definitely recommend going to. Other things are, baseball fields and soccer fields that is very popular, in this area. So if you're into being outside, if you, like being active and taking your kids to the park or taking your dogs there, Hilliard is definitely going to have a lot of opportunity for you to do that with its park systems. Another thing that people love to do, and this is new within the last, I think, less than 5 years for sure, is right behind me. I am at this area called the Center Street Market, which is super cool. It's this area of Hilliard that has been developed with a brewery behind me called Crooked Can, which is fantastic. And then inside of that, they have like this marketplace. And you have all these other different shops and restaurants, kind of, these places have set up vendors that you can do. So I personally love the Cheesecake Girl. I'm a big fan of sweets. I love cheesecake. They're located here. There's this place called the Meatball Mafia. Oh, that's killer as well. So this area has really been developed to attract a lot of people. It's in, Old Hilliard or Hilliard Station. So it's just an awesome place to come, all nights of the week. They have on the weekends, they do live music, which is really cool. This is probably my favorite thing about Hilliard, and it's one of the biggest attractions to moving here. So definitely come check it out. All right, so we've talked about location, we've talked about population, we've talked about the schools. What else? We've talked about what are things to do. So we've covered kind of all this basis, and we got one more thing to talk about, but kind of so far, the general kind of idea of Hilliard, it's definitely family oriented. You're going to have a ton of people that, have kids that maybe, are moving here, they're relocating here, or they've been, living in the downtown area and they're starting their family, or they have small families. And this is definitely a place that they're going to look to move to just based on, the housing, the schools, things to do, and the family kind of oriented nature that it has. All right, so last but not least, we always got to talk about the real estate, because when you're moving here, you definitely got to know, what is the housing situation like in all of these areas? And I always try to provide you guys that information. So, I'm not one to, embellish or, I definitely always want to be blunt with you guys. So, the Hilliard real estate market is booming. It is, in my opinion, it can be very difficult to get in here at certain price points, just because it is so popular for all the reasons that we talked about earlier. There's a lot of people that really try to move in here. So pulled up some stats for you guys. Over the last year, the median home price has been $300,000, and that's going to get you a 3-bed, 2.5 bath, right around 1,900 square foot home. So, it's still definitely an affordable area for a lot of people. And that's what drives, kind of the interest and the excitement to the area. If you are thinking about moving here and that kind of fits your budget, it's definitely someplace you want to look. However, just know that you and a lot of other people are trying to get into the Hilliard area for all the reasons that we talked about and many more reasons. So it's just something you want to be aware of. All right, guys, so that's an overall snapshot of what it's like to live in Hilliard, Ohio. So overall, it's family oriented, it's growing rapidly, it's still affordable as far as housing concerned. You have great schools and you have a lot of things to do. Sounds like a great place to live. So if you're thinking about relocating or moving to Columbus, and this is an area that, you know, you're thinking about, make sure you give me a call, send me a text message, shoot me an email, throw up the bat signal, throw up the smoke signal, whatever you gotta do. Make sure you get a hold of me because I'm gonna have your back when moving to our incredible city. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Until next time.